Hey ratbags, it's Jade. Today giving you my little guide to magic in the Ashlands. All the brand new staves, obviously the brand new mage outfit, how to craft and upgrade all of the brand new gear, and pros and cons of all of the staves and what you can do with them. Subject to change, this is still the PTB, I'm sure some stats might, but here we go, my magic guide for the Ashlands. So the Embla armour set, you're going to need a lot of linen thread, of course a lot of refined ether and aspen hide. The robes, same sort of materials, but you're going to need 5 for the metal as well. All pieces give 19 armour, so 3 more than the previous set and 5% extra ether regen. So at first glance only a small fractional maybe increase, but when you start combining that with the plethora of new magic that you can use, it really does help out. New foods, sparkling shroom shake. You're going to need 4 sap, 2 of the brand new vine berries, 2 smoke puffs and 2 mage caps, giving you 90 ether. And that 4 HP tick as well is pretty good. And it's the same across the other magical foods now. You've got that 4 HP tick. The sizzling berry broth, you're going to need just 3 of the sap, 2 fiddleheads and 2 of the vines, and you're going to get 85 ether. Marinated greens, 3 sap, 2 mage cap, 2 fiddleheads, 2 smoke puff. That's relatively easy to get hold of. The fiddlehead and the smoke puffs are pretty much all over the Ashlands. As long as you're quick, you can just gather some of this stuff. So when you stack it up against the Yggdrasil porridge, with small increases in HP and stamina, and obviously a small increase in the ether as well. Also got a new mead, it's going to give you 25% regeneration of ether, 10 sap, 10 venberries and 10 mage cap. Overall, being a magic user in Ashlands, I feel like it is definitely a really much more stronger, viable way to go than maybe even in Mistlands. And obviously if you're watching this video, I'm presuming you're well acquainted with the Mistlands and how to get this magic gear in the beginning with the sap and stuff. I have done previous guides that are still valid right now, so go and check them out to see more details in case you're fairly still new or just about to approach the Mistlands and wondering still about what magic might entail in the next biome. And yes, I've done guides on how to get the metals, go and check them out too. The one thing holding you back is you're going to need at least 4 for the metal and some of the new wood to go ahead and craft the new rolling pin. Actually rolling pin and cutting board to give it its full name, as this is the only way that you can craft them new foods by getting your cauldron up to level 6. So the max magic you can now have if you eat your marinated greens, sparkling shroom shake and a sizzling berry broth or the seeker aspic, that does still give you 85. Obviously you'd go for the others as it's going to give you that extra health regain. 270 ether. Lingering potion as well. Let's go and test out some of the new magic. So there's 4 new staves have been added. The troll staff, which we'll go through in a minute, is probably the most destructive. The Dundee, although it looks like a blood weapon, and at first I thought it was actually going to be another summons, it's actually a shock based weapon with 20 lightning damage. Currently it doesn't take any health away when you use it like the rest of the blood weapons, but it does use the bloodstone. So I think that will probably be tinkered or changed with to use maybe the iolite. But it does have that red effect, so yeah, a bit of an odd one. Now you can see it's pretty powerful, taking on just one of the charred there, especially for vultures too, although there is no lingering damage. And effectively it is the shotgun that was spoken about by the devs in their walk-in fire talk. So yeah, the closer you get to them, the more damage it's going to do. At first I thought about being nimble and quick, but you do end up stopping when you go to use it, making you vulnerable. So I'm actually advocating for using a heavy build with this, obviously with at least one magical component as armour and just making sure you've got the best magical food. It might feel a bit too modern for some people, but I actually really like it. I like the idea that it gets cocked and then you can use it pretty much. Great for sneaking up on the enemies maybe and then unleashing with a big shot in the back. And get right up to a charred stone. And it only takes 2 shots to take one out. Now the one slight issue, well, maybe not necessarily an issue, is that unlike a lot of the other brand new elemental weapons, you don't get any additional benefits for this. The other weapons do a flat damage of lightning, but they've also got the added ability they can chain. That's a chance of chaining when you hit certain enemies, but yeah, no extra benefits with this one. I mean, it is pretty powerful. Now something that needs a massive buff is this, the Staff of the Wild. It's meant to do poison damage with swings of its branch, but obviously at this point it's all but useless. It has to obviously be within range, and even when if it's in range, it doesn't actually seem to want to hit. Well, very slowly anyway. It needs a buff. Short and simple answer. Yes, you can put 2 or 3 of them out and it could maybe make a defense or barrier, and in certain instances putting them inside a cave with a Morgan could be potentially good, but I think they're still pretty weak sauce. It didn't take long for this Morgan to still bust out and kill me. So potentially high stamina build, keep running around 2 or 3 of them that you managed to plant. If they definitely took or soaked up more damage as a defensive shield, I think that would be more interesting. Also, I was messing around with the keeps to see if they'd be good for taking on the brand new ballista enemies, and no, they just won't hit. They don't act like they're an actual enemy. Troll staff is absolutely the funniest. Honestly, I for some reason thought we could summon just a blue troll and this would maybe be the upgraded version, so I wasn't maybe fully expecting this guy to bust half of my house up. And by default, you will have bases not catching fire on by set, so you don't need to worry. You're not going to set alight to any of your bases just because you've got a campfire on the embers from this guy. However, if you do have that setting changed, new one I've added, there is a chance that your trolls could potentially set fire to your base as well, even if he doesn't hit direct. So, are they actually any good? Well, you can use them to break into keeps, but you will have to basically aggro them. They do kill you. They'll kill anything that's around them. They'll go aggro for you if nothing else is nearby. So you can find a way to perfect dodge in front of a gate or a wall, then it is viable. Admittedly, I was trying to get out from within on this one, but it is doing damage to the walls. It would probably take around 7 to maybe 10 hits for it to actually make an impact. And if you're thinking this is way too easy, then I don't need to bother with any of the obviously siege gear. Obviously you're running the risk of getting owned by them, and it does still take a hell of a lot of resources to go ahead and craft this staff and especially get powered up so they can make the job a bit quicker. But it does work at the moment. Get them stuck on a corner and you can break into the keeps and get the loot. It was fun using one of these to take on Lord Rito, because obviously it killed me, but I did carry on doing a lot of damage to him afterwards, leaving you to just stand at the back while they basically do everything you need to do, and you can pick up your loot and heal. Against just a regular Lord Rito that I spawned in, yep, you can see it's doing quite a bit of damage. And just like normal trolls, some of them will have the big logs in the hand, some of them won't. With the right magic level, basically max, you can summon 3 in, but they won't despawn if you try summoning more until they've actually been killed. And the quickest way to kill them is using your frost or ice magic. In fact, top tip right now, the ice staff is incredibly still powerful in the Ashlands. It does a lot of damage against creatures. And kind of expected, I put this question to the devs saying, are you going to have it traditional, that ice damage is going to do a lot against fire? And they were like, no, it doesn't have to be that way. But at the moment, the ice staff is pretty much my go-to for taking on so many of the enemies in Ashlands. And so far, most disappointing of all, maybe even more than the actual staff of nature, is the staff of fracturing. It basically does this mini mortar damage effect, basically firing one good shot and then smaller little boulders of fire can do damage. So maybe meant to be good for crowd control when you've got a lot on, but it felt like the secondary projectiles didn't actually hit enough of their targets or certainly do enough damage. Like, okay, I hit a couple there, great stuff, but yeah, I still feel like it could be done with a bit of a buff. Maybe one that's going to be more useful against other enemies in other biomes. I'm guessing not every staff has to be tailor-made for the Ashlands, and it is obviously made out of fire damage, which you would expect a lot of these creatures have to resistance to. There is a new upgrade extension, the Feathery Reef, but you won't actually need it to unlock any of the new staves. 8 celestial feathers, which you can only get by maybe finding some in loot inside some of the citadels, or possibly obviously defeating the Valkyrie, the Fallen Valkyrie. But you're also going to need the Asvin trophy as well, so pretty formidable having to kill a bunch of them. But if you want max upgrades for your magic gear, then yeah, you may have to unlock this new one. And it's going to be no joke actually getting the upgrade materials for a lot of this. Clothing is relatively simple, as I pointed out, but when it comes to the brand new staves, Staff of Fracturing is the easiest one, as it only relies on the Prostite powder maybe being a bit more challenging to get hold of. But the Staff of the Wild, the Dundee and the Troll Staff all rely on the new gems. The Troll Staff you do need the Troll Trophy for as well, and just 1 Bloodstone. The Dundee, it feels like it should be a lightning weapon. The fact that it still needs 3 celestial feathers to craft as well, at least it doesn't need any trophies. But these can be crafted and made at level 2 Gelder table. And to go ahead and upgrade them, you are going to need more of them gemstones. Now remember, they appear quite randomly inside the keeps. You're guaranteed to get at least one. So to get the troll staff up to level 4, you can need 7 of the troll head trophies plus 7 of the gems. Maybe not such an issue with you just playing on your own, but certainly on the multiplayer server, with 15 to 20 of the keeps maybe available on parts of the Ashlands, that's still a lot of grind to get anywhere close to having some of you have an upgraded Dundeer or a troll staff. And the celestial feathers, yeah, you need a ton of them. Over 15 needed to go ahead and get it fully upgraded. And likewise again, plenty of bloodstones. I don't want to go too much into stats as things may change from PTB, but let's talk about how much or what you can do by upgrading. So the Embla set first, with moderate small increases obviously by 2 per armour and durability, but no changes to the regen or the movement speed. Now Staff of the Wild, when you upgrade it, it will start to increase the fire and the block force. So the block force is pretty normal for it to do that, but it's good to see that it does increase at least that aspect. Staff of Fracturing, that will also increase the fire. If you upgrade the Dunder, it does increase the pierce damage, but not the lightning, but again will increase the block force. And as far as I can tell with the Troll Staff, it only pretty much buffed the durability, not much else. So maybe it'd be good if it gave maybe less health that it takes when you summon it, or obviously makes the troll damage much more intense, or gives them extra life, something like that. But yeah, so far as I know, it's only durability increases. So absolutely pain in the butt maybe having to get the troll staff, especially upgraded with all of them troll heads. But I'm sure if you're a real experienced Valheim pro, you've probably got a bunch of them kicking around. And I can see getting some of the gems from the keeps being a bit of an issue. Like I said, if you're playing with lots of friends, you are going to have to divvy them out and choose which ones get what kind of stave and who gets the upgrades maybe. But yeah, Magic is really fun. I don't know if it's completely viable running around at the moment, facing off against all of the charge. You do need that kind of mix of magic, health and stam. But it's been really fun trying to work out the weaknesses and strengths of some of these staves. If anything I've missed, do let me know. Of course, I'll update this guide if it needs changing or any adjustments have seriously been made once the full update's gone live for everyone. So until then, I'll see you ratbags later.